Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another First Division preview show. Delighted to be welcomed by Keith Ryan again today. Keith, how are you? We were just discussing the goalkeeper jersey you were wearing there. You've number 30 in the back, but we're not sure if that's Brian Mars or who owns it.
It's definitely not Brian Mars, but yeah, it's certainly a goalkeeper one. There's not many people around in the league, but you can't buy goalkeeper jerseys.
No, you can't actually.
So I was lucky to get my hands on it. So.
Fair play. Purple's not my colour, but there you go. We'll start off at the Carlisle grounds where Bray Wanderers take on Treaty United. And I was smiling a bit before we came on because one of the fixtures, I think it was last season's 0-0, and it was arguably the worst game of all time. No offence to Bray or Treaty there, but it was just one of those games, wasn't it, to be fair? Yeah. But Treaty are on the back of winning 2-0 against Athlone the other night and are in decent form, to be fair, coming into this game. They're on 10 points. 2 points out of Bray, and Bray have played a game more. Bray are yet to win at the Carlisle this season, and it doesn't come easy when you take on Treaty, does it?
No, and I think I need to apologise to a few Treaty fans because early on in the season they certainly didn't look like the team that they were last season, and I thought they were going to finish way outside the playoffs, and they seem to have since the Cobh defeat, they seem to have kicked on a little bit. And fair play to them. They beat Waterford. They beat Athlone last week 2-0. Was it 2-0? 2-1? 2-0?
I think it was 2-0 in the end. Yeah, I think it was 2-0.
Yeah. So I think Dean George scored twice. So yeah, they've really kicked on. So it'll be a tough game for Bray. It'll be a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be apologising yet, though, Keith, because there is a long way to go. But look, they showed after that Cork, as you said, that Cork defeat, that they have it in them, they have the character to bounce back. So for that reason, it does bode well for them going forward, doesn't it?
Yeah. It was a big defeat. Look, you don't like being beaten at home, but to be beaten convincingly by your Munster rivals as well. And whatever Tommy Barrett said in the next few games seemed to have worked. I know Palomine, Jason Shanahan, thanks for the information, by the way, Jason. He said they changed tactics in the next couple of games, and it seems to be working for them. So, look, Treaty are tough outside. They're dogged. Like I remember saying about the last season, they're dogged side. You know, they don't give you a minute on the ball. So, it's a hard one to call, Keith. I want to say a Bray win, obviously, but I don't think it will be. I think we might go for a draw here.
Not 0-0, no.
Hope not.
I tell you what, though, in all honesty, though, all joking aside, both teams have 2 clean sheets each this season, but as it Treaty have been better defensively in the last few weeks. Bray have been pretty okay defensively, you'd have to say as well. The question, I suppose, for Bray is Hugh Douglas going to be available for this match?
I haven't heard, but it was certainly a bad head injury last week. So he was definitely concussed going off the pitch. And as I said in the review show, it certainly changed Bray's defence quite significantly. Like they just poor old Sean Callan and Hudson just didn't seem to click. Yeah. And it'd be massive to get Hugh Douglas back. You know, you've said it before. He's a warrior. He heads every ball. So to get him back in the fold would be probably worth less one goal, if you get me.
Yeah, it's also a leader as well. But from Bray's point of view, they need to get goals from somewhere, don't they? In fairness, I mean, Callum Thompson's come back into the fold a bit and has been playing fairly well, as you said before as well. Connor Clifford has been out. Do you think he'll be back actually as well, or what's the news there?
It's not looking positive.
Right.
I've heard 2 different stories about Connor. One that he was out for the season and one that he'll be back in a few weeks. So who's to know what's going to happen? It looked a bad injury when he went off against Longford. But he went for a scan. Haven't heard how the scan went. But going back to the goals, look, Rob Manley hasn't scored this season. And he'd be disappointed with that. He will be disappointed. Like any striker that can't get a goal will be disappointed. He had a chance against Athlone, should have put the ball into the net. And you can't be relying on Curtis Bourne. Curtis Bourne scored a few goals for us this season, but you can't be relying on him. Goals need to come from every part of the park, you know. And Hugh Douglas, it's a good example to have him back. He's a threat at corners and long throws as well. So it'd be good because, as I said, Treaty are a big side.
It's funny because you mentioned Treaty are very dogged side, and some people, when they hear that about their team, they almost get upset, don't they? To be fair, but it's very much a compliment. Like from my point of view, if I hear someone says a team that you follow or you like, and you say, "Look, they're very tough to beat, they're dogged," I actually enjoy that. Now, to be fair, Treaty can play good football as well and have done, but their foundation is that like, and I can just see them frustrating the life out of Bray in this game, and the onus will be on Bray to attack. They probably missed, to be honest, we haven't really talked about too much, but they probably do miss the craft of Brandon Kavanagh. I know he mightn't have been the most consistent last season, playing very well with Derry now, but that's probably because he's in the first division, to be honest, and a bit of a marked man. But that craftiness is missing from Bray, isn't it, at the same time?
Absolutely. And as I said last week, Alan Thompson, he played well against Athlone, but unfortunately his final ball didn't come off as much as he'd like, you know. And if you can get that final ball right, that's his game. You know, he gets down the line, gets by the fullback and gets a cross in, and you'll have Rob Manley and you'll have Curtis Bourne on the end of balls, and then hopefully you have midfielders breaking from the midfield as well. But yeah, Brandon obviously is a big miss. He's doing so well at Derry. You know, he's probably a Premier Division player. You know, he's probably getting more sessions in the gym to bulk up. You know, he looked a bit slight last season, but you know, anyone could do it. A Brandon Kavanagh in their team. Absolutely,
I think I'm going for a draw as well, and the viewers might be pleased to go for a 0-0 draw. We move on. We'll move on to Cobh Ramblers and Waterford. Difficult one for Waterford. They all are at this moment because the pressure. It feels like the pressure's on them. They're third in the league. They can't afford to drop points. I know Cork are off this weekend, so this gives them the opportunity to close the gap. Like, this is their opportunity to close the gap from Cork. Cobh, very good defensively, I think. For a team that are 8th in the league, second bottom at the moment, they've only conceded 9 goals. That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. They're going to be really up for this. The question is, are Waterford going to be up for it? Because I tell you what, they're going to have to be up for it.
Yeah, I think so. And as I say, if Waterford get a result here, it's the end of the first series of games. There'll be 5 points then off Cork City. So you need to be within touching distance. I know it's early days, but you need to be within touching distance at the top. If they don't get anything out of this game, you know, if they get a draw, say they're 7 points behind Cork. It's a long way back, even this early on, you know. And you're right, Cobh defensively have looked okay. 9 goals conceded, like they've conceded less goals than Waterford have. So again, I think they've scored 5 goals. Is it Cork? Yeah. So again, football matches are about putting the ball into the net, and then you build on that. You build from the back. You almost shut up shop. If you can score the first goal, you almost shut the gate and then let the other teams come at you. So that's what Cobh will be hoping to do, and Whitmarsh joining as well up front. They have the firepower there, so I don't see why they can't get more goals in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, they have the experience at the back, the likes of Frayhill and Kavanagh, but you know, Waterford need more from their attack now as well, not just their defence, because you know, they need to be a team in this game, because if you go down to Cobh, any games we've seen recently, and you know, are as individualistic as Waterford are. And I know Morris was talking during the week, and he was saying, you know, I'm as disappointed as the fans. So you're starting to get that kind of, like, you can understand that. I get that, and he's right. But it just shows that already there's a bit of, I won't say discontent as such. Well, they're not within the camp necessarily, but there's discontent with the fans and the team, basically. And that's obviously feeding that energy into the likes of Ian Morris, etc. And it's very early in the season to be saying things like that. But as I said before, it's like the way Waterford are, but they have to be defensively strong in this game as well. But they have to, from their point of view, they have to go and try and take the game to Cobh, because, you know, Cobh will really try and get at them, to be fair.
Yeah, it'll be tough though. You say Waterford have to take the game. Cobh, Cummins Park, the pitch isn't great from time to time, you know, and you know, you can't get the ball down, you can't spray passes around, and you know, the ball doesn't roll, it bobbles, you know, so it's a tough place to play football on the ground. Going back to Ian Morris, he's obviously sitting up and he's realising what's going on in the background. He sees the discontent from the fans. So, I mean, if he got a 1-0 this week, that'd be a fantastic result, you know, 3 points on the board and you go again. So, not that he'd be aiming for 1-0, but he'd certainly take it and he'd go back to Waterford. Happy days.
I think they'd need to take a 1-0 over 4-0 in a strange way, because they're well able at times to go out and do that at times. But it's those games where you go and nick a 1-0 would nearly give them a bit more, like a real ropey 1-0 is what they need, isn't it? They win, but they're under a bit of pressure, and they came together as a team and they really grounded it out. And they can all look at each other and say, geez, lads, we had a tough game there. We got the 3 points. I think they need some results like that, to be honest with you. Yeah,
like Cork City in the last couple of weeks, they got a 1-0 against Wexford. Galway got a 1-0 at home against Cobh. So, you know, those results are actually crucial moving forward. You know, you can have flair players all day long. You can win 4 or 5-0 here, there, and everywhere. But the 1-0s are the ones that make a team, and they make your season as well. And they, at the end of the season, you look back on these games and you're like, oh, that was a fantastic result. You know, that actually got us the title, or that actually got us into the playoffs. So prediction wise, I say 1-0, but I think I'll go for a 2-0 Waterford. I don't think Cobh will score.
I'm actually going for a surprise result here. I think Cobh might nick this 1-0. Yeah, something telling me, as you say, they don't score many goals. They might need many goals in this game, and you know, the likes of Whitmarsh will be really up for this game. You've got Drynan as well as a good player, but you'd like a couple of more goals from him and McGrath and Hegarty and players of that. But
I just think Waterford have to win this game. So by hook or by crook, they'll find a way. I just think they'll find a way.
I think if they don't, and my prediction comes through, I believe that could be the end of Ian Morris, unfortunately. That's just the way I see it. But moving on anyway to Saturday in Galway, we'll take on Wexford at 5 p.m. Again, I suppose a good opportunity for Galway to go level in the table with Cork. You know, Wexford did put up a good performance against Cork, but travelling out to Galway, will they be able to put in 2 performances as such like that? Galway and Caulfield will see this as a great opportunity now to actually go level with Cork, having played 8 games. How do you see this one?
I probably see a Galway win. As I said, they'll go level on points with Cork City. Final series of games, so they're sitting pretty at the top if they get a result. You know, do you know it's a hard one to call, Keith, though, because Wexford have played quite well in phases of games, not necessarily for the 90 minutes, but Cork struggled against them last week, and obviously they were down Waterford earlier in the season. They held Bray in the Carlisle as well, so they can certainly put it up to the teams that are expected to be up there. But I just think Galway, their home record, Kerryland Park, it's, you know, the crowd get behind them. I can't see anything but a Galway win here.
Yeah, the only thing with Galway is I think they're struggling to find their best setup in an attacking sense. Sometimes they play Waru up front, sometimes they play Adeyemo up front, sometimes the 2 of them are up front. So still trying to find, should I play 2 up front? Should I play 1 up front to play, you know, wingers or whatever? Like, he's still trying to find that out. And, you know, Walsh, obviously, we said scored a few goals, but he's gone back into, he's either playing midfield now, actually, or left back. I think that's the thing with Galway, but I agree with you there. I just think they'll find a way of finding result in this game. Wexford have a habit of creating decent enough chances. You know, we've talked about Dobbs and Dinny linking up with each other very well. Dinny a bit disappointed with maybe some of his finishing in recent weeks, to be fair. However, though, if they did go down and create chances, like there could be a game soon where they do put 2 or 3 passes aside. Very difficult to see that happening though at Eamon Deacy Park, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if Jack Doherty plays, you need to get him on the ball. You know, he's nice. He's a small guy and a bit of a Wes Hoolahan type player. You know, getting into positions, spraying the ball, and if he can create the chances for Dinny or for Aaron Dobbs, Connor Davis, who you need to mention as well, he's having an all right season. You know, so you know. I think Wexford have 1 away win this season and 1 draw. So, like the away win was against Cobh. So, teams that are going to be in the round them. So, look, as I said earlier on, they've put it up to teams that are going to be up there. So, who's to say they won't put it up to? But I don't think Caulfield will allow it. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 Galway win here.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0 as well. I think. I just feel they're going to go level with Cork City in the table. Final game then, 7:30 Saturday. It's a derby, Midlands derby, Longford Town taking on Athlone. 7 points between them in the table. Longford have only played 5 games. Here's one for you. If I know it's an if, but if Longford won their 3 games in hand, they'd be 2 points behind the leaders. And obviously, this is one of their games in hand. And it's a game they'd be targeting and looking to win. In reality, won't they?
Absolutely. The only thing is, Keith, Athlone have scored in every game they've played this season. So they are a bit of a threat. They are a bit of a threat. But people are going to get fed up with me saying this. Gary Cronin's teams do not concede many goals. That's the thing. And
best record in the league. Sorry, after Cork is the best record in the league.
Yeah. And like they seem to be scoring as well. 3-0. Was that last week again? Yeah. So like, I mean, if Graydon's on form, Robinson's been a fantastic player this season in the midfield. Braden seems to be putting the ball into net. So Longford, Midlands derby though, Keith, it's who's to know what'll happen. Like, what did he call it? The El Clasico or something like that?
Oh, I can't remember. They might tell us in the comments, somebody, but I can't remember something around that. Yeah.
See, the thing is, Athlone last week when Bray played them a few weeks ago, there wasn't many at the match. Will they bring a following with them? To give their team a bit of a bump? Probably not. Longford, when I was up there earlier in the season, and that was a Monday night, but there wasn't that many fans there. So hopefully this week they can get a better crowd in and have a better atmosphere. Longford, you hit the nail on the head. If they win their 3 games, they're up to second. Who would have thought that?
Even Keith, if they got 6 or 7 points from those kind of games in hand, it'd be a big coup for them, wouldn't it? Even 2 wins and a defeat, you take it.
Yeah. Without a doubt. But we said it like Cork could be rubbing their hands together. They have the points on the board, Longford don't. So you don't want to be playing catch up, and that's what Longford are doing. It was unfortunate that the games were called off early in the season. It's just one of those things. But it's going to surprise me if they do get up there and they have 6 or 7 points. They're going to be second in the league, which would be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, they've a lot of experience in defence as well. The likes of Barnett, as you know, Michael Barker and Elward. It's hard to believe Elward, he's only 23, by the way, because he feels like he's around the while, isn't it? But it feels like it's a good, solid, experienced defence there.
He has 100 appearances for Longford.
Yeah, something like that. Is it literally 100?
100, yeah. Last week, I think he got his 100 appearances.
That's mad. Like, you just think about it, he just feels like an experienced, and he is an experienced campaigner, actually, just because he's 24, but because of the games he's played. But it's very difficult to see them concede too many goals in this game. But that said, I think Aluwu has actually been excellent for Athlone this season. In many ways, it's one of them where you're doing well in the team and scoring goals and looking very sharp and bright, and you're coming off losing every week, more or less. Like, it can be very disheartening on that. But they do have that there with him and other players around him, like Macaulay. And Macaulay, we know, is being consistent. But I think Aluwu has been absolutely very consistent. He'll try and move the Longford defence around as much as he can, won't he?
Yeah, for sure. He gave Bray a nightmare 60-second half a few weeks ago. He was running down the channels and he was turning inside out, and the Zayna was pretty similar actually, So them two linking up together seems to be clicking. To be fair, Martin Russell's trying to get Athlone to play a bit of ball. Every time Michal Shingerman had the ball, it was played out from the back. Now, at one stage, it didn't work against Bray. And I know against Cobh, it didn't work for one of the goals as well. But, if you're trying to play a bit of ball, you have to ensure that's going to work. You have to ensure that your defenders are ball-playing defenders, that they're able to handle possession with a marker quite tight on them, But Longford's good defence. Athlone, it's a derby game. I'm going to go for a tight game. I'm going to go 2-1 Longford.
Spot on. I'm going 2-1 as well. But I was just thinking in my head as well, to be honest with you. I do think if Longford want to be serious, though, of getting into the mix, they probably do have to win this game. I know it's early, but they have to kind of be able to say, right, we have to be Athlone at home. And that's no offence to Athlone, but they're going to have to do that if they want to be banging the mix. I agree with you. I do think they might nick one Athlone somewhere along the line. The question is when they score. Do they go 1 up, or is it a 2-0 down, they get one back or whatever? Longford, from my point of view, even though they're good defensively, they still have players in attack that are very dangerous. You said, Ryan Graydon well, he's playing well. Sam Burton's playing very well, another player you know well. And Robinson in midfield seems to be doing very well for him. So I think Longford so far, with some of the players they've lost, like A. Dervin, O'Driscoll, etc., I think they're better. Dylan Grimes is another one. I think they're better than I thought they would be so far. But they just need to get those points with those games in hand. Whatever that lands for them might determine how to do this season, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And you say about the players they brought in. Last season and the season before was Lee Stacey was in goal. And Gary Cronin's completely changed, and he has Luke Dennison in goal.
He does,
Luke Dennison, one of the goals against Galway United, I think it was Galway's goal. He played out from the back, and Mick O'Donnell played it back. That's what I was saying about having players that are comfortable with the ball at the feet. Obviously, he's not, but it was a surprise that he completely just put. Stacey said, "No, Lee, you're going to be on the bench. He's going to be my number one."
It's a big call.
It's a massive call. Goalkeeper is probably the most important position on the pitch, because obviously you have to keep the ball out, but he's doing okay, and as I said, second best defence in the league. So, but he didn't convince me when I've seen him play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Look, guys, thanks very much for watching. Keith, thanks for coming on as well. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hit your bell notification button and enjoy your weekend. Thanks very much.